Well, I think we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So, welcome to everybody. Welcome to our mortgage live stream, or CMAT live stream, call it what you like. I'm Paul Archer, but you can kind of read that down there, can't you? So, you don't need me to tell you that. I'm here every week to talk to you about all things mortgages, really. What's new, what's going on, just keeping you abreast of issues and all those good things. Now, if you're live on the YouTube or LinkedIn, or Facebook, you can type in questions if you want to. It's all opened up, so happy to take those as we go along. Let's spend 20 minutes now just getting ourselves up to date. Shall we? Like a new background, by the way. Got a new gadget now, allows me to switch around. So all very exciting stuff. First thing to talk about with you today, which is really interesting, was something in the news this morning which got my attention. Lloyds Bank are up against it. Not their fault, really. They bought HBOS in 28, wasn't it, when all the banks got nationalised? I don't think they really wanted to do it. I think Gordon Brown convinced the governor of Lloyds to buy it because Gordon didn't want to nationalise it. Anyway, long story short, it's come back to haunt them. It's come back to bite them on the bottom as well, quite dramatically. So let's share with you what's happening. And I want to give you a little bit of a screenshot, really. Here's a screenshot of the website that I looked at this morning, FT Advisors. Pretty damn good website, actually. And this gives you all sorts of aspects. And it's called Lloyds Taken to Court Over Mortgages Tied to Property Values. You can't make this stuff up, can you? And it talks about the old shared appreciation mortgages, which were legacy mortgages, really, when it comes to it. When you talk about equity release, shared appreciation mortgages were pretty dire things, really. But at the time they were okay. And to cut a long story short, some lawyers have got 150 people that took these mortgages out in the late 90s and reckon that they've all been done like a kipper, and they want their money back or they want the terms changed. And the whole point was that they reckon that these people now owe huge amounts of money to Lloyds Bank. And you can kind of get it, can't you, really think about it? Because the whole point about shared appreciation mortgages was, quite simply, they lent them money, but they didn't have to pay any payments. Don't forget, interest rates were high in the 90s, so they didn't make any payments. But what the bank did is say, look, we're going to take a cut in any increase in the value of your property. So actually, on the face of it, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? So they lent them money. They didn't have to make any payments, which is great. No interest. Interest rates were high in the late 90s. And the bank said, look, we're going to take a percentage of the increase in the value of your property. Of course, at the time, all these homeowners thought, yeah, we're going to have some of that. Sounds like a great deal. Because 20 years later, it don't look like a good deal. Let's bring back that slide so you can see that for you quite clearly. It says there that there was one dude who took out a 187 mortgage on a house in London worth 750. You see that? In 98. Now, this house has now gone up to 2.8 million. Lucky to them. So they actually owe the bank 1.6 million. There you go. I'm not laughing because it's a lot of money. But then again, that dude's got a house worth up to £3 million. So makes you think about life, the universe and everything, doesn't it, really, when it comes to it. The lawyers are doing a class action suit or something to get Lloyds to cough up or change the terms and conditions. So beware, the equity release market has some old legacy mortgages that are kinking up a bit of a stink, really. People don't like them and it's got a bit of a reputation. So you've got to make sure that when you explain these things to your clients that they realise that modern lifetime mortgages are really good schemes. Really low interest rates, fixed for the whole time that the period is, the person's going to be alive for, pretty much. Very low interest rates, really good terms and conditions. It's a different world to what it was 23 years ago in 1998. So just pick that up. It was quite funny, wasn't it? Anyway, let's talk about a couple of important things with you. The next topic, really, I want to sort of chat with you on our live stream is the world of mortgage broking. So I want to talk about this with you a little bit more in detail. I'm going to go to the whiteboard actually for this one. So let me just check this new gadget's working fine. I think it is, isn't it? Look at that. So we've got a whiteboard here, which I can now talk to you using some of this whiteboard traditional method of communication, which I think we all like, don't we? Now, we're talking about the world of mortgage broking. I'm going to call that the world of broking. Now, a lot of people write into me, or they don't write into me, they email me or whatever. And they say to look, I want to become a mortgage advisor, I want to become a mortgage broker. They get confused with the difference. And there is a big difference between the two. And no, a lot of people know that. The big difference is this. People take CMAP examination, or the CF6, to become a mortgage advisor. CMAP was pretty much invented in 1999, 98, amended in 2004, for the mortgage advisor, for the girl sitting in the bank, sitting in the building society, selling mortgages to customers who walks in through the branches or on the telephone. They still call it telephony, old name that. Anyway, the point was that the scheme that they arranged was fairly straightforward, and it wasn't a particularly difficult case. Difficult cases were chucked out anyway. That's the world of a mortgage advisor. So people pass their CMAPs then to become a mortgage advisor, to be able to advise on a mortgage for a particular client, either restricted lending or whatever it is. Now, mortgage broking is very, very different, and not a lot of people appreciate that, really. The mortgage broker's job, her job, and let's put her over here, showing the mortgage broker. There we go, the mortgage broker. Her job is very different because not only does she have to naturally advise on the mortgage, she's got to select the most appropriate mortgage to suit the client's needs. She's got to look at identified needs and recommend it, suitability letters, all those good things. Of course she does. But she also has to broker the marketplace. Now, the mortgage advisor who sits in a bank branch or on the telephone, whatever it is, advises on a restricted group of products, really, from one lender. They don't have to broker. They don't have to broker the marketplace. The mortgage broker does. And that's where it gets complicated, because often the mortgage broker is faced with complex cases, difficult cases, specialist cases that are not actually in the realms of CMAP. CMAP does its best, but it doesn't really prepare you for some of the complex stuff that you get, because most of the stuff in banks and on the telephone, mortgage advisors, are pretty straightforward. So it begs the question then, if CMAP is not adequate for these, because it's not really, what is? Well, there isn't really. There's extra exams, there's the diploma, there's the RO7, and they do look at specialist mortgage cases in a whole lot more detail. So they're getting there with that. So if you want to become a broker, then you do need to go beyond CMAP. Of course you do. That goes without saying, doesn't it? But that's another story for another day. No, it's a bit more to it than that, because the broker has to get herself really up to speed with things. The broker will deal with two types of lending. The mortgage broker, this one, the mortgage broker will deal with two types of lending. The first type of lending she will deal with is what we call specialist lending. Specialist. The second type of lending she will deal with is complex, or I don't know what's the best word for this one, sort of difficult, awkward cases, complicated, difficult, I'm going to call it. And they are different, and I'll explain the difference between them. Now, specialist case that she needs to broker is where the broker needs to know a lot about a particular type of mortgage or house purchase or some kind of area of expertise. For example, a lot of lenders now are coming in now with commercial, semi-commercial finance, because the law's changing this autumn on converting property from commercial to residential. There's a lot of money available to lend on it, and there's a lot of landlords looking to make quite a lot of money on this as much as possible. And that's a great thing. Now, to be able to learn this, you can't get an exam that's going to teach you everything. Yeah, there are some special exams which will certainly help you along the way. But what you need to do here is to get really good at the specialist area that you're wanting to focus on. So if it's commercial finance or holiday mortgages, the best people to go for this one are the lenders in that area. So what I always recommend for specialist lending, an exam might help you, but the best place to go is to the lenders that focus in this area. Now, I have a lot of pals in the specialist lending area who deal in commercial, buy-to-lets, holiday-lets, whatever it is, and they're BDMs, business development managers. And good BDMs nowadays, these are good ones, by progressive modern ones, they're not bothered about piling in and buying you donuts anymore. That's gone, like those days when they did that. You see the pictures on LinkedIn, don't you? Friday afternoon, all drinking beer. That world is gone. It's all a bit sexist as well. It's wrong. No, good BDMs nowadays are educators. They are trained to educate you, the broker, on their specialist area of finance. They will rock up and teach you all about commercial finance. They will have webinars, online seminars. They will do BDM briefings. They will even do in-house briefings. They'll do podcasts. You know, they use all the tech, which is great, to teach you their specialist area. And boy, do they know about it. They know all about it. These lenders are very, very good at these specialist areas. They are the best in the market at finding out what's going on. So, you know, talk to the lender, talk to the Small Building Society, take the Cumberland, the Saffron, people like that. They deal in specialist areas. They know a lot about it. So talk to them and they will educate you as much as possible, which is brilliant, isn't it? In the day. So that's specialist lending. A broker would get involved in that big time. Some advisors might do, depending on what their products are, but mostly it's the brokers. So let's now take a look at the second area, which is difficult or awkward cases. Now I've got new brokers coming into our coaching system. We have an inner circle coaching system where a lot of people take up coaching with me, and they say to me, "Look, Paul, I've got this case. I don't know where to place it." And I said, okay, well, how did you get the case? Well, they phoned me, they contacted me, and I'll talk about that in a second. That's quite normal. And I said, well, I can't place it. There's no one lender that will do this. And that's what they call a difficult or awkward case. They are kind of cases which are outside of normal criteria. And what you need to do here is to find a lender who'll bend things for you, who'll tweak their criteria. You need to find a lender where you can talk to their BDMs. The best type of BDM are the internal BDMs, by the way, because you can get them on the phone or on Zoom, whatever it is. Talk to them. They will have the ear of the underwriter if the firm is small enough, and they will be able to stretch the case slightly, maybe bend it a little bit to allow you to fit that particular case. And that's how you deal with difficult cases. There's no lenders that do them per se. They'll do them, but they'll do them via twisting the multipliers, twisting the criteria, whatever it is. You've got to know your brokers. You've got to talk to your colleagues and friends about the type of brokers, type of lenders that will help. So know the brokers that you can talk to that can help you with the lenders. You've got to get to know your lenders. Speak to your colleagues. Find out how to place these cases is a key one as well, isn't it? And that's the way you handle these, really, at the end of the day. The search engines may not help. Yeah, search engines help advisors. They help specialists, big-time specialists. They don't help so much with difficult cases because no search engine has all the connotations that you can have for changing criteria. But get away from maybe some of the rate-driven ones, you know, the Brains, the Triangles. Get into some of the smarter criteria. Legal and General Mortgage Club have got a great one, smarter criteria, they call it. There's plenty of these new search engines that search for criteria as opposed to the best rate or the headline rate. And they're the ones that are more modern now, and they're getting better, and they're linking into your CRM systems and best advice systems. So start using some of those sourcing engines might help as well. But the best thing to do, this is kind of finishing off really, if you're looking to enter the market, you know, the world of broking, is to think about what brokers get involved in, if that's what you want to do. I'm a mortgage advisor working for a bank, but yes, fine, go for it. But that world's changing. They're going AI on this one. I've talked about it many times before. What they're doing, they're getting with the advisor and they're making it into an AI bot. That's what they're doing because it's cheaper. But broking won't go that way for a long, long time. Specialists, yeah, get yourself into specialist areas, definitely. But here's the key. Here's the secret sauce. If you set up as a broker and kind of get your office or Zoom, whatever, and say, come on, customers, come and talk to me, you'll get all sorts of rubbish approaching you. You'll get the kind of cases that are difficult because they can't go anywhere else. That's why, you know, if you're doing reactive marketing, now set up a website, whatever, and just wait for the phone to ring, then you'll get difficult cases. You will. It's just the way it is because they would have gone there, maybe gone there and didn't get any luck. And you then have to spend hours trying to place the case. It's difficult, it's hard work, it's not rewarding. You'll get a reputation with lenders if you keep tweaking criteria all the time. No, that reactive methodology doesn't actually work as well. By the way, you earn the same money, the same prop feed, don't you? Whether the case is difficult, awkward, or specialist. Now, what you want to do is you want to market yourself. You want to niche your specialist area. If you want to niche difficult cases, do so. But personally, I wouldn't even touch them because they're hard work. They don't actually achieve an awful lot. The customer gets very needy. No, you want to go in the specialist area where you're dealing with perhaps a niche product, maybe a niche customer base. A pal of mine deals in the medical side of things. He only deals with doctors and surgeons. I know one mortgage broker that only deals in dentists. You know, these are niching with the customer, niche in the product area, niche in the specialist area, and then turn up your marketing engine to focus on that niche, that specialist area. Get a reputation for it, get referrals in that niche area. Seth Godin once said the secret to doing a really great product is to invent something that's small enough to appeal to a very small audience. And then make it so good that those people refer you. So don't market to everybody. You know, these guys do that. They got the budget. So market to a select audience. Make your product and service so good for that audience, they will not stop by referring you to their friends and colleagues. That's the secret, isn't it? It's a specialist proposition that you want to go to as a broker. That's your aim, and that should be your aim moving forward, in order to combat AI and everything. So that's the world of broking. I hope that's been useful for you. Did you enjoy that one, did you? I love the old mixing around, don't you? Changing the angles. It's great fun, this, isn't it? So we can actually allow you to have a different insight, really, of what's going on. We use that a lot in training, by the way, and this, you know, when we speak to you as well. Okay, let's talk about a final topic then, shall we? Let's have a bit of fun with this one. Which it's just this one's just a bit of fun. This is what I call Be Cam Ready. Cam ready, camera ready. Now, for those of you in the know, Love Island was on the telly this summer here in the UK. Love Island is a program. I don't watch it, but a lot of people do. My wife said she loves watching Love Island, and she used to watch it in the other room, and I watched my TV in the other room, and it was great. Anyway, on Love Island this year, there was a company called Cloud9, I think they call themselves, who are a manufacturer of hair straighteners and those things. And what they did pro bono is they created this this hair station, as they called it, where around this circular table were these 6 or 7 Cloud9 straighteners and hair dryers, all connected up or whatever, which allowed up to 6 girls in order to get themselves ready for the camera. Because, you know, this is kind of like models, stuff like that. And it was great because they all simultaneously get themselves ready. Out they go to camera. They were camera ready. I think some of the boys are also able to use this particular station as well. Maybe not the hair straighteners, but at least the hair dryers as well. Now, that's the point, you see. When you're dealing with Zoom or camera-based advising, etc., whatever you're doing, you've got to be camera ready. You've got to be able to switch on your camera very quickly and know that whatever's coming out is of a reasonable quality. You've got to obviously check your image, what you look like, your shirt or blouse or whatever you're wearing. You've got to make sure your background is in order as well. Now, these are what we call Zoom zones, which a friend of mine, Rob, called it, or teamscapes. It's just the background that you like to appear against. You can have green screens if you want, but people like a bit of authenticity online as well. Obviously, on this background, I've got my whiteboard, and these are all ready. The cameras are fixed up. They're not budging anywhere, not webcams, they're DSLRs. They're connected to a gadget there that does everything for me. I'm camera ready. Now, this is my living to do this, so I have to be camera ready. What we're saying to you, though, as a mortgage broker, make sure you have some camera available to you. It's already hooked up. There's a background that you're comfortable with. There's lighting that you can switch on very, very quickly and get yourself promoting yourself as well along the way. That's called camera ready. It's great, the Love Island. It's finished now, but when it was going on, Shelley loved it, and of course I loved it too, because I could watch my TV in the other bedroom, other room. We've got two TVs, and I was watching things like my war documentaries, my Premiership football, which started recently as well, my war documentaries, war films, World War I documentaries, my BBC4 music shows from the 70s, which I love as well. So I was watching all that dull stuff, and if you're yawning already, I totally understand what you're about. Enough of that. Okay, let's just wrap things up for you. We've been talking about 20 minutes now. Hopefully we've given you some good information to help you with your mortgage broking world. We've got some exciting developments coming up ourselves this autumn. Really excited actually this autumn. We've got a CMAP cohort starting at the end of September. That's 25 people coming onto our CMAP online boot camp, as we call it. Been around for 3-4 years now. It's very, very popular. It's a very good price as well, apparently, and we're keeping it at that price. And it allows you to have loads of video-based learning for your CMAP, so it really helps you out massively. And we've got our Advisor Skills Academy. We've got a second one starting at the end of the month. This teaches CMAP qualified people to become advisors or brokers, of course. Their sales skills, their advising skills. We teach them everything you need to know to be a professional mortgage broker, mortgage advisor. That's coming up as well. Loads of new things happening all throughout the autumn. Lovely day today, apparently. It's just, well, it is apparently out there. It's sun shining. I'm down here in a cellar. We've got this studio built down here, but I'm hopefully getting out there, getting some sunshine later on this afternoon. Anyway, enough of that. I'll be online again next Monday at noon on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, whatever you prefer. We'll see you soon. Have fun. Bye. There you go.